How it is.
Ooh, oh, I thought we were going to do this the other way. What?
I have to give my laugh sounds from so considerable.
I have 20 pounds. Why is it so funny? You're the only one laughing. I don't know what's going on.
Because you weren't here for something. Okay. Hey, I'm here with Kathleen, and we are basically at the end of our trip to London, Paris, and Barcelona. And we're kind of sad to leave, but at the same time, pretty happy to go home. So, throughout this whole experience, like, you did a whole bunch of different array of activities. Which part would be your favorite and why?
My favorite out of everything?
Everything.
Well, I have to think. I think that my favorite part was going to the I don't know. The only thing I can think of right at the top of my head was the park today, like the Gaudi Park.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ask why?
Yes, why?
Well, I liked it because, one, I like mosaic art, and two, that's something that I've never seen before, ever. Like, I mean, I've been to the beach and whatever, but I had never seen anything look that way, and it was very interesting to see. And I also like the church too, but yeah.
With that being said, which city was your favorite?
Oh, Barcelona. Couldn't you tell?
And why is that?
I liked Barcelona because it was a lot more laid back. I previously liked London a lot more, but once I started like getting into like the Barcelona like groove, I really liked it because it was a lot more laid back. I don't think that they don't get nearly as many tourists as London and Paris do. So like the people are nice, they speak English a lot, and there's a lot of dogs and birds. And I liked Barcelona. Just seemed very cool because I'd never been in a place that was that different. Like Paris and London were all very similar to us because we had borrowed all that European like beliefs and architecture and everything, so we already had all of that, and I never seen like a Latin kind of place before.
Yeah, I got you. So, which city would be your least favorite city?
I think my least would be Paris. You gonna ask why?
Yes.
Okay, well, I liked the things that we did in Paris a lot. I liked doing the catacombs, I liked Père Lachaise, I liked everything that we did in Paris a lot. And like the other group said that they really liked the Palace of Versailles. That would have been cool to go to too. I liked all of that, but I didn't like the atmosphere of the city. I loved their food, but I didn't like the people serving me my food. They were kind of snobby, the city was dirty, it kind of smelled really bad sometimes. And the people there, like the pickpocketers, there were tons of them, and there were tons of those people that were very, very aggressive in trying to sell you things, and they would like grab you and everything. And it was really scary because they would trap you, and I didn't like feeling like I always had to be on the lookout for all those kinds of things, and I just didn't really like it that much.
Yeah, that's like a cultural thing that like us as Americans aren't used to. So with that being said, like, is there anything else culturally that like completely caught you off guard?
So, could you give me another example? Because I'm kind of confused.
So is there anything that you saw that other people did that that shocked you in any way, or that you weren't really expecting? In
London, it really surprised me how like impatient they were I mean, they were not afraid to run anybody over. Like, and that really surprised me because I'm so used to the cars yielding me in the United States, but that did not happen in London.
No.
They did not care if they hit anybody or not. And there were always ambulances flying around everywhere because people were getting hit constantly. And, like, they didn't stop, especially bikers, motorcycle people. That was really surprising to me. I mean, I had already been warned about it, but I didn't know, like, it didn't really hit me until then, until I got almost hit by a car.
So with that being said, was there anything cultural that you expected to see, like a stereotype of some sort, that you ended up not seeing at all?
I expected the people in Barcelona to be very, like, loud and rambunctious and outgoing and, like, obnoxious and everything, because that's how I kind of see that kind of culture. It's very loud, but it really wasn't down there. I mean, it could have been at a loud volume in, like, Paris and London were just really, like, turned down, and that was what it was. But Barcelona, with all the Spanish people there, or the Catalonian people there, they were not that at all, so I was very surprised.
So was there any cultural practice that you saw that you would most likely embrace?
Could you give me an example?
So like what you said earlier with the impatience, do you now see why they're impatient and you yourself become impatient? Or something to that effect?
So you're saying, like, something that they do culturally that I agree with or I see in myself?
Sure, yeah, you can go with that.
Like, so similarities. I mean, I don't know, that's a weird question. Might want to fix that. I don't know how to answer that. Like, I mean, there are a lot of similarities and everything. Like, I'm trying to think of cultural things that I was, like, that I would embrace. I mean, I kind of understand why the Londoners got impatient. I wasn't, like, I completely understood that. I knew, like, we were just tourists walking really slowly. We didn't know where we were. They needed to go to work. Yeah, like, I'm like that, exactly. So, but I mean, I didn't, like, they were very impatient. I'm an impatient person, but they were, like, impatient. So if that answers your question.
Alright. So is there any word of advice you would give to first-time travelers who are looking to travel the world?
Just everywhere? I would tell them to do your research. Because I had been told that a lot. I wasn't really doing any research. I mean, I had done research on some things, but I wish I had a lot more background. For example, we saw so many, like, different monarchy kinds of things in, like, London and Paris, and I knew some history, but I didn't know what I was looking at. I didn't know, like, whose throne that was. I didn't know, like, what that weapon was used for. And if I had researched that kind of stuff more, I would have understood it more. Because if you go to a different country and you didn't research it, and they don't speak English, you're going to find that you can't read anything that describes that kind of stuff because it's all in a different language. That's what I discovered, because I didn't know. We were in the catacombs. I didn't know what the catacombs were. All I thought that they were just a whole bunch of skulls and everything, but I didn't know the history behind it, and I couldn't find out because it was all in French. So that would be something that I probably should have looked into more.
So do your research. Thank you for coming and letting me interview you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, and also research people, like how people are in their societies. Because people in London were very, very different than the people in Paris. The people in Paris were very, very different than the people in Barcelona. You need to research their individual cultures, not like of how each person responds to their environment. Because that was pretty interesting, because I didn't know how to act. I felt like an outsider because I wasn't one with them, because I hadn't researched how they were. Yes.
So you should become one with.
Yes, embrace it. Don't be like my mother and be like, I'm an American, I'm going to represent my country, I'm not going to act like anybody who I'm not just because I'm in their country. And I think that that's a pretty respectable thing to do. I mean, you can proudly state that you're from the United States, but you don't want to shout it. You want to try to fit in as much as you can, because not only because people can like get money out of you and like always target you, but also just so people can see you better. If you try to act like them, they'll respect you a lot more. So don't be like that stereotypical tourist and try to fit in with them, and they'll be a lot nicer to you. Like how your mom was. Your mom like spoke French and everything. She was very respectable. So the French people liked us. We didn't have a problem with the French people. But other people probably did, because French people aren't nice to Americans, usually. But they were nice to us because we fit in. We tried to get with them. So, yeah. I think that's pretty important.
Yes, very important. Well, thanks again for coming in.
You're welcome.